So the next part is pretty big. A lot of questions people always ask is how do I finish the back of the ear? So before I start doing that, I'll just soften my edge real quick. And let's model the back of the ear. How do I do this? It's pretty interesting. Luckily for us, the top and the bottom, if I look at them, they're fairly similar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this point here, part back, extrude it back, just like so. Come on. There. Not so hard so far. What we have to remember is this lobe is separate, so I'm going to close this up. That way we can close this up and get a little bit more detail. That's one way to do it. The other way is I can extrude this up. I think I'll do it this way instead. Pull this back. That way we have a thicker lobe. Select around, merge. Now we have some sort of thickness. Not bad. And now let's actually get over the rest. Let's go through here, all the way back, extrude again. This time we're going inwards. Scale in and back. Also I'm going to side view and make all these a little bit further out, all to one little area. We all know we don't like that. Equidistance is always the key. Smoothing things out, we have a little bit more detail to play with. Same with all inside the ear too. I'm keeping a lot of these kind of uneven to give it a more organic feel. Those are too perfect. It always feels a bit off and weird. So having that unevenness adds more character. Do the same in the back. Okay, my general rule is these edges always have to have even numbers. So that way when we attach back to here, we can still be okay. So what I'm going to do is split this in half again. This makes it odd. Even. Why do I do this for? Well, fairly simple. Now when I close it up, we can still say even. So for example, if I take all of these, extrude them again, and close them all to the same point right here. Select around, merge. That's one reason. But I'm going to make this slightly different, because I want this right here to attach across. I'll also move this back here. If I now press merge here, press 3, notice how the blend across now is a lot more smooth. We have the indentation, I like that more. So they're now all going to the top. That point, and all of these. I just need these loops to end. So I'm going to move them closer. Because the ear is thicker in the back when it leads up to these areas up here. They become more even. More closed in. Just like so. Up. Up. In. Back. Delete those two. We have ourselves some quads. And still look fine. Just to adjust some of these a bit more. So so the quads work better. Actually, I need to change that. That's not a quad. And that's the quad right there, so I'm cutting this across. If I look at that now, that blends in nicer. So let me kill this line off. Delete. Oops. And to delete edge vertex. There we have quads now. Okay. Then we gotta adjust these two. Still forget how these are supposed to look like. So with that, move these down. We already have the thick area right there. Move these in. Thicken this. I'm going to push this back. Try to make the ear look as good as possible. Just make sure to utilize all of the edges properly. That way I have more round areas around the ear itself. Some of these also have to be thicker. We're just varying the thickness. If we need more, we'll just cut more. I'm going to close this point up right over here. That we actually have the lobe flap. Just like so. Okay, tweak some of those up a bit more. Smooth them around. They'll look the way you need them to look. Okay. If you look at this, I can still tell you I don't have enough detail yet. I want a lot more. So I'm going to insert more of them inside. I'm going to go through here. Again, cut that in half. That didn't cut the way I wanted right there. So I'm going to just cut it straight through. And even then, we don't have all the detail we want, but this definitely does help me a lot more. And get this in more properly. Remember I said we always want to keep quads. So at this point we sliced another one inside. Now we can take this whole area right here, scale it in more. It gives us a much better looking lobe from the inside. Let's move this in. give us the whole varied point in the back. We need to push some of these back more. That's what we need to do. More in. That way it's a lot more apparent. It's an area most people just neglect. I don't like doing that, so we want to make sure everything looks proper in the back. Okay, cool. A lot of this added some lines in the front, so what I'm going to do, delete that edge, tailor this, we'll see where it goes. Same with this line, we don't want that either. Delete edge vertex, now it's gone. Still our same ear, now we have the back also. And this, right here, how do we end it? There's several ways. Either we continue this across, bring it down, or just end it right on the top. Because I don't want it to continue too far, take the easy route out. Oops. Let's end just like that. Merge, and there we go. The back of the ear is done. Now let's attach these pieces together. So I'm going to take this piece right here, extrude this, actually take all of this, extrude, scale out, just like that. Move it back. Take this point here, snap it down here. So give us the detail that we need for the neck. This will be toward the back of the head. Select around now, edit merge. If I take this whole line up here, extrude up, side of the head, attach this point, merge. Now the back of the ear will loop with everything else. So let's scale this out, move it back more, move some of these points down more. Like so, and back. We have the loop from here continuing all the way down, all across the front of the face. So now we have a nice loop going through. We just have to straighten some of these out so we don't have the weird crease anymore. And just like that, we've made the back of the ear. Soften, and there we go. We have the front up here. Get everything right in. Don't like how harsh that crease is. We're going to just drop this down a bit more. And the ear's attached to the head. No 5 sides, no tries. All quads, and you have a nice clean loop going straight through. What the back right here will be is the basis of how we're going to have the back of the scalp. Let's get some of these things fixed though. Alright. Delete my histories. So let's now continue for the rest of the head. The rest of this point now is fairly easy. I always like doing these in sections though, so I'm just going to take care of the front of the head first. X-ray, extrude all the way up, Scale down. Start adjusting. As usual, always get bulk detail first, and always add more loops afterwards. Trying to get this to be a little bit nicer. And there we go. Side view, pull that in. So I think I'm going to go back to this view again. Just more convenient that way. Let's get more of the scalp. Extrude this up. Back. Let me take some of these here, move them forward. Make it a bit more round. And now when I create a loop right here, some going across. So I'm going to do this one last time. Extrude up. Difference is this time I'm moving this line out. I'm going to spread out a bit more. These two sides. So this right here. Extrude this back. Forward over here. Snap it. Snap that in. And the whole face now is basically a mask. Easier to handle. Less wires continuing. Merge. Soften edge. Let's fix all of this. It's easier to see from the top view. Get that in. This is a point. Flatten these points out. That's also a point down there. Flatten that out. Adjust all these. It's actually pretty easy to make a head, not too hard. At this point I find it easier to have the other half in there too, to find out how pointy the front of the head is. Just rounding some parts out. And there we go. I'm also going to change my camera focal length to a 50. Some of these need to be changed based on the problem with Maya is when you look at the camera when it's smaller, it also thins out the face because it changes out a lot of the detail. Let's see any other things I noticed when I press 3. It's looking okay. Some parts need to be fixed, like on the sides here. Out more. Out more. There, much better. Bottom needs to be pushed in. Pushed in. Okay, some tweaking here and there, make him not look so bland. Some points in, some points out. See more of his cheekbones. Well, this is just tweaking at this point to make him look more like who I want him to look like. And as always, like I said, your orthos never exactly match up with your actual perspective view. So you go through and you have to manually tweak a lot of things to make sure they look proper. Okay. I should put the eye back so it doesn't look so weird. Duplicate the eye, have 2 of those. History. Alright, let's get the rest of the head and the back. Take all this, shoot all the way up, and let it down. Use it that way. Slice all of that. Slide edge down just a little bit. I don't want to bring it down too much because these need to be pulled up. Just like that. Select around. Merge. This whole loop. Extrude. Scale. I'm just moving my pivot. Outwards. Move back a bit. Scale up. And attach. Now I'm going to go and start continuing pulling some of these points upwards. It's too close right there. Okay. Let's continue this whole trend. Take all of these. Extrude back. I don't pull it up drastically. This way we can always insert more loops in between. Put that right there. Take all of that, move that up. Again, take all of that, move it up. We have these lines here. You can kind of see where they go already. That goes there, this here, and that there. Forcing us to adjust all of these points on the side too, which needed to be adjusted anyways. Okay. Extrude, in, attach. Select around, merge, shifting some of these back. Over right here, I can see there's a lot of stretching happening. Split that in half. Take. So you can just select around just like that. Deselect that point. Slide edge down a bit more. Okay, it's not working too well, so I'm just going to move it. Rotate. Move. Same with this. There, a lot more balanced. Careful now, because on the side it's easy to get them all to be very straight, so get them a little bit more round. Not too much. Remember, the side right there is mainly from the back of the head. Pull all these out. Down. Spread some of this out a bit more too. soften. Go inside, start moving things in. Near the temple. If you're having trouble with that, you can always do soft selection. Move some pieces in this way. Just easier. This part, typically, this whole selection here, move forward a bit. Whereas this moved back slightly. Let's make sure these are indeed attached in the middle, so I'm going to turn off soft selection and just hold X and snap them back to the middle. Now we're going to see more of the head, all the slight subtleties inside it too. Move some of these back to really get that to show up. Now we've got all of this. Let's continue this whole trend. Pull some of these down. And extrude the rest of the head. So again, I'm going to extrude all of this together, just in case that actually did something. Extrude, back, rotate. I'm just getting major ones, and you can always go back and split it in half. Again, I'm watching these points over here. Again. This will have to be scaled in a bit. Half, half, half. That was just easier to adjust. Okay, let's attach them. Merge. Extrude all of these out. Like so. Attach them where they need to go, and we're going to slice them in half. Halved. Select the round. Merge. And already see how we're closing up the head. The back parts here, though, we have to deal with them slightly different. Merge that. Let's soften. Edge. And back here, I'm just going to use the scalp poly tool just to smooth out some of this. Then I'm going to pull it out. So using the scalp poly tool, match displacement and pulling it all the way down very low with a setting pulling up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out the back. Just sculpt and make sure I don't get the ear. Just pulling this part of the head out more. That way when I'm in the front view I can see him better. It's the back of the skull. So going back here, this way I can actually see it. Back of the skull is the part that actually pulls out. So I'm going to go back in here, soft selection, make my drop off a little bit higher, bring these points back out. Make sure I go back into perspective view to see how it looks. Make sure everything flows properly with each other. There that goes. Get the back of the skull there. Pull some of these in. Make sure the back looks proper. Just gotta pull some of these back up. Again, front view. Now we have that back like we're supposed to. And get some of these in right here. Pull some of these out. Okay. Now we're almost done with the skull. So the way I'm toggling soft selection is just pressing B. Now I'm going to extrude all the way down here. Just get it pretty drastic. Scale it in. Scale it in more. Got the angle. Go through. Insert the edge loops where need be. Easiest way, like I said before, split them in half. Adjust. That way you already have everything halfway there. That. And so forth. Oops, wrong one. Out. Rotate slightly. Out. Attach. Merge. Shows the back right here. What you have to do is start scaling everything in. So the easiest way to do this, select around and get a handful of those vertices. Soft selection on. Then move your pivot temporarily to the middle of the grid, like so. Make sure that's your scale pivot you need to move. That way you can scale in. Let's do that higher. There it goes. For some reason my D shortcut isn't working. So moving those in, moving some more of these, scale those in, move in, scale in, move in. Just move point by point. If you're having trouble smoothing them out, just go through, see a little bit of the Sculpt poly tool with the shift held down. It just smooths everything out. Still gonna move this part in. And a bit more. I'll smooth some of that out. Adjust some of these lines. Soften my edges. And there we go. We have basically the head of the character created. I'm going in now. Smooth some parts out. Adjust. And have the character's head. Okay. The next video, I'll be recording is how to complete the bottom of the jawline down to the neck, because they do go hand in hand. So that'll be a next set of videos, but for now you have the whole head. Next set, again, like I said, we take care of the bottom of the jawline, neck, and bust area. Then eventually we'll get down to the rest of the torso. But till then, I hope this video was useful for you. Again, if you want to find more of my pieces, you can find that at dingmanart.blogspot.com. I'll be having a lot more videos for modeling characters and props soon enough.